Lahat ng drama, tawanan, balita at all-time favorite music hits. Sa lungkot at ligaya, kami pa rin ang inyong kasama. We're the place where you truly belong. Mula sa TVH Group of Networks, ito ang inyong himpilan. Ito ang inyong tahanan. Number 1 sa Mega Manila.
From Cool Studios, this is koolNews at 6.
Good evening, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. This is koolNews at 6. I am Cairo, and we are live on Cool FM and News Radio 93.1, where we shared some headlines that truly care for you. Let's begin with our first headlines. As the Department of Agriculture announced on Tuesday, it will further slash the maximum suggested retail price for 5% broken imported rice to 55 pesos per kilogram starting tomorrow, February 5. And then by February 15, the MSRP will now be nationwide, Agriculture Assistant Secretary Arnold De Mesa said in a press briefing on Tuesday. De Mesa, also the DA spokesperson, said the DA plans to slash the MSRP further in the coming weeks after the periodic review. The DA imposed the MSRP for imported rice in public and private markets on January 20, initially within the National Capital Region, to tame rising rice prices despite strip cuts and the decline in global prices. Meanwhile, the number of pre-registered subscriber identity module or SIM cards confiscated by the Philippine National Police in January 2025 more than doubled the total seized in the entirety of 2024, the anti-cybercrime group said. Data released by the ACG on Tuesday showed that the unit seized 7,900 registered SIM cards, a 240.34% increase from the 3,287 registered SIM cards confiscated in 2024. According to the ACG, 38 individuals were arrested in 31 entrapment operations from January 1 to 31st to curb the illegal sale of SIM cards. Among those arrested was a minor who was placed under the custody of the Department of Social Welfare and Development. Complaints for violating the SIM Registration Act were filed against the suspects. Further, 19 of the cards were seized were linked to bank accounts and e-wallets in violation of the Anti-Financial Account Scamming Act. We strongly urge the public to refrain from purchasing SIM cards and to ensure that their own SIMs are properly registered. The ACG Director, Brigadier General Bernard Young, said in a statement on Tuesday. This is a vital step in preventing cyber fraud and safeguarding the public against cyber criminal activities, he added. The Department of Information and Communication Technology previously acknowledged gaps in implementing the SIM Registration Act, stressing the need for stricter identity verification measures. Okay, well, Stephen, it looks like you have something. Go ahead.
Yep. Good evening, Cool FM listeners and Cool FM and News Radio listeners. A suspect involved in a motor napping incident was arrested after a police chase along the streets of Santa Cruz, Manila. The Manila Police District Santa Cruz Police Station identified the suspect as John Paul Camba, 25 years old, and a member of the notorious Commando Gang, which is known for engaging in various criminal activities in Metro Manila. Police said it was around 1:50 p.m. on February 1 when personnel from the Alvarez Police Community Precinct were alerted by a loud cry for help near a drugstore around Rosa Street. The victim, identified as Micaela Francine Torres, 19, shouted for help as she pointed toward the suspect team on a motorcycle. With their immediate response, police officers quickly pursued the suspect, who was seen speeding away on a motorcycle. A short chase ensued before the suspect was cornered and arrested. The investigation revealed that the motorcycle was taken without the victim's consent. Authorities recovered the stolen motorcycle and a .38 caliber revolver with 3 live rounds of ammunition from the suspect. He remains under police custody and will face charges for violations of the Anti-Carnapping Law and the Comprehensive Firearm and Ammunition Regulation Act. From the station that cheers for you, I'm Stephen and one of the soul for koolNews. This is your station. This is home. This is Cool FM.
Thank you very much, Stephen Del Sol. The Philippine National Police Criminal Investigation and Detection Group arrested 26 individuals and confiscated all products worth 13.02 million pesos on early morning on Tuesday in San Juan, Patangas. The law enforcers also seized the pieces of equipment used in the illegal trade. According to the CIDG report at 12:20 a.m. on February 4 at the Subukin port in Patangas, the operation discovered and seized six straight truck tankers, four trailer trucks, one straight truck, and a motor tanker. The 11 trucks were valued at a total of 55 million pesos, while the tanker was valued at 60 million pesos, according to a separate report from the Bureau of Customs also on Tuesday. All vehicles and the vessel were carrying a total of 217,000 liters of petroleum worth 60 pesos per liter. Customs valued all the evidence at a total of 128 million pesos. The tanker and lorry both had failed results in the initial field sampling and testing. The field marking was at 0%. Customs Intelligence and Investigation Service Director Vernon Ancinco said in the report. The CIDG's Pantagas Provisional Unit and Calabarzon Regional Unit, the San Juan Municipal Police Station, the operatives from the Bureau of Customs, POC, and the Philippine Coast Guard carried out the operation. The arrests and seizures stemmed from a customs request to crack down on suspected trading of goods without payment of lawful duties and taxes at the port. The persons apprehended were brought to the Pantagas CIDG. They will be charged with complaints for violating Section 2A of Presidential Decree 10865, which penalizes the illegal trade of petroleum and petroleum products, the police said. According to the BOC, the owners of the vessel and the trucks, its captain and crew will also face charges for violating the Customs Modernization and Thrift Act, as well as the Tax Reform for Acceleration and Inclusion Law. Customs took custody of the evidence. While our mandate is to protect and mend our borders, it comes with the responsibility of making sure our consumers, especially those who purchase from small and independent retailers, have access to only legal, legitimate, and tested products, including Phil, Customs Intelligence Group Deputy Commissioner Dewey Max UI said in a statement. Meanwhile, the proposed Magna Carta for Barangay Health Workers is one step closer to becoming a law after the Senate approved the bill on the third and final reading during Monday's plenary session. Senate Bill number 2838 was approved with 19 affirmative votes, 0 negative, and 0 abstentions. Senate Deputy Majority Leader J.V. Ejercito, principal author and sponsor of the measure, said this long overdue legislation would finally fulfill the promise of better recognition and support for BHWs. The journey of this bill has become very, very challenging, and yet here we are today, passing it on third and final reading. The last steps of passing this bill into law are upon the horizon, he said. They are an extension of the Department of Health in our communities. They are offering services as part of our preventive healthcare system, but most importantly, they answered their calling during the pandemic and serve as frontliners. If they are heroes in their own right, he added. The bill seeks to institutionalize fair and standardized compensation for BHWs, ensuring a minimum monthly honorarium of 3,000 pesos along with subsistence and travel allowance. It also seeks to provide for national government subsidies to help fund BHW compensation, particularly in 35th class municipalities. And in no surprise, the pamantasan ng Capuyao in Laguna has implemented an English-only policy across all official university transactions, classes, and interactions. It cited as reason its goal of fostering academic excellence and global competitiveness. In an official announcement on Monday, the university declared itself an English-speaking campus effective February 3, 2025. The university stated, in line with our vision of developing globally competitive and world-class students, the Pamantasan ng Capuyao or University of Capuyao is now an English-speaking campus starting February 3, 2025. This policy applies to students, faculty, staff, and all university personnel to cultivate a strong English-speaking environment, it added. The announcement urged full compliance, emphasizing that strict adherence to the policy is expected. The announcement quickly gained attraction, amassing over 33,000 live reactions on social media as of writing. Many social media users criticized the policy in the post comment section, with some calling it wrong or regressive. Mark Cruz, Red TVH, an education student majoring in Filipino, said, We should first strengthen the students' understanding of the Filipino language to clarify communication for everyone. TVH further argued that struggling with one's native language undermines rather than enhances global competitiveness. His comment has received around 1,300 likes, heart, and care reactions combined. University of the Philippines Assistant Professor Jose Monfred UI also criticized the policy, highlighting the importance of using the mother tongue in education. As Weiss commented, there have been countless studies from various countries proving the effectiveness of using the national and mother tongue languages in education. He further questioned the university's decision to prioritize English over linguistic research findings. Instead of following the advice of linguists and other experts, they are going to countries like the United States, whose people ironically use their language, he added. I have my take on this. This is if you're not good in English, well, how can you speak English if it's not your main language, right? If I don't think this is the right thing, no. It is now 6:12 p.m. and this is Cool News at 6, as we will continue with more news headlines right after the break.
This Cool News edition was brought to you by Baygon, the #1 insect killer brand in the Philippines. Star Wax Floor Wax with waterproof formula, long-lasting shine. Star Wax Floor Wax, manufactured by ACS Manufacturing Corporation. ISO certified, world-class quality. ACS. Unique toothpaste, Maxalaga with maximum fluoride protection. Manufactured by ACS Manufacturing Corporation. ISO certified, world-class quality. ACS. Fuji Denso Home and Commercial Appliances, where you get reliable, durable, and energy-saving products. Upgrade your usual appliances of Fuji Denso HV inverter appliances. Fuji Denso, quality above all. And Neutral Lifestyle Low-Fat Milk Powder. So good you'll float. Product excellence of Hongsang. All-time favorite hits every day? Kasama ka namin dyan!
Every day, it's your birthday on repeat, yeah.
Feel Good Mornings. Weekdays, 10 a.m.
You want the spice, you turn the heat up.
Rock Weekdays with G-Day-G, 4:30 p.m. Pop Fridays with Lisa Mangubat, 7:30 p.m. Lahat yan every weekdays dito lang sa Cool FM. This is your station. This is home. #1 sa Mega Manila. You're listening to Cool FM.
#1 sa Mega Manila.
Nationwide pa!
Pre, makinig ka muna. Payong kaibigan lang ha. Work hard, play hard. Yan ang motto ko dati. Pero nakakapagod din pala katagalan sa gitna ng lahat ng puyat, inom at pagkain ng masasarap. Kasama na ang oily and fatty foods, kailangan pa rin bantayan ang kalusugan. Tamang kontrol ang kailangan. Katuwang ko ang Liverade, Slimmering supplement na best with proper diet and exercise. Cheers to more good times. Salamat sa Liverade. Mabibili ang Liverade sa mga leading drugstores nationwide. Mahalagang paalala, ang Liverade ay hindi gamot at hindi dapat kabiling paggamot sa anumang uri ng sakit.
Ang lakas mo, may ilalakas pa. Sa Revicon Forte, may muscle-building amino acids, tulong para mas lumakas ang katawan with proper diet and exercise. Pag malakas ang katawan, lumalakas din ang loob. May lakas para sa ambisyon mo.
Revicon Forte!
Lakas!
Unilab yan.
Multivitamins, minerals, and amino acids is the generic name of Revicon Forte.
Ang new Biogesic for Kids, di na kailangan ni shake. Syrup formula na. Para pag may lagnat ang anak, buhat agad, inom agad. New Biogesic for Kids. Mas pinagaling, magpagaling versus previous formulation.
Unilab yan.
Paracetamol is the generic name of Biogesic. If symptoms persist, consult your doctor.
Para di madaling masira ang ngipin ng pamilya, ngayon pa lang,
Unique toothpaste for brushing every after kumain.
dahil ang unique toothpaste may Max Protect formula.
Ngipin ay Maxalaga, Max Protektado pa.
Helps stop cavities even before they start, while keeping breath fresh with regular use.
Unique toothpaste for brushing, para siguraduhin ngipin ay Maxalaga, Max Protektado pa. Unique
Max Alaga, Max Protectado with unique toothpaste maximum fluoride protection. Manufactured by ACS Manufacturing. ISO certified, world-class quality.
ACS.
Bakit kahit quality, abot kaya pa rin ang mga gamot ng RightMed? Dahil gusto ng RightMed na gumaling kayo nang kayo'y nakakakilos, nakapagtatrabaho. Coco Martin po at kasama ako ng RightMed na naghahangad na gumaling kayo. Sumaya, makibahagi ng gusto sa buhay. Para sa pamilya, para sa bayan.
Dahil gusto namin na gumaling kayo.
If symptoms persist, consult your doctor.
Marcafe na araw-arawin, di ka mabibitin pag Marcafe ang iyong tinimpla. Kaya bilhin na, Marcafe na tayo. Marcafe na kami, puhanap mo'y 5-in-1+1. Marcafe na.
Marcafe.
Ang sarap ng natural.
Pangarap ay umangat pero minsan ay sanungat. Kabayani kita sa Ginebra. Ikaw ang inspirasyon. Kahit di madali, katuwang sa bawat sandali. Kabayani kita sa One Ginebra Nation. Kaya para sa barangay, ako naman magbibigay. Kabayani tayo, kabayani kita.
Drink responsibly.
Sa panahon ngayon, kau ba'y sigurado? Kau ba'y protektado? Ang pamilya ay i-shield mo. Laban sa bakterya, i-shield mo. Laban ng pati virus, i-shield mo.
Shield Bath Soap. Patay ang 99.9% of bacteria and virus tested. Bilib ang mga eksperto sa Philippine Nurses Association.
Sa sakit protektado, i-shield mo. Pamilya protektado, i-shield mo.
Shield Bath Soap, manufactured by ACS Manufacturing Corporation. ISO certified, world-class quality.
ACS. Tayo na sa iyo. Tayo'y magpatingin. Tayo na sa iyo. Sila'y eksperto at magagaling. Tayo na sa iyo. Inyong mata ay mahalin. EO Executive Optical. Ang practical. EO Executive Optical. Ito ay practical. EO.
Mindanao, Visayas at Luzon. Sa bawat problema ay may solusyon.
Mga batas na para sa kabataan, centenarian, solo parent, PWD, at marami pang iba.
Kontra gutom at kontra korupsyon.
Ako ang nagsusulong, kayo ang kampiyon.
Senator Amy Marcos sa Alni Solusyon.
This is a paid advertisement.
Tight game! Shoots! And it's... Nabitin? Magtusiran Forte with Total Cough Relief Formula. Laban sa dry non-stop ubo, kati sa lalamunan due to post-nasal drip at sakit sa kakaubo.
Tuceran Forte.
Unilab yan.
Dextromethorphan, HBr plus phenylpropanolamine HCl plus paracetamol is the generic name of Tuceran Forte. If symptoms persist, consult your doctor.
Dapat tunayan na, sa panahon ng pinakamatinding pagsubok, dala ni James Roaf ang pagbangon, pag-asa at pagbabago. Nang tinamaan tayo ng matitinding kalamidad, nagpatayo si Roaf ng higit 200,000 bahay at nagbigay ng hanap buhay para sa mga nasakuna. Nang naging kalihim ng turismo si Roaf, higit 5 milyong turista ang bumisita sa Pilipinas at nakalikha ng higit 10,000 trabaho at oportunidad para sa lahat. Leadership, results, integrity. James Roaf, pagbabagong kailangan para sa ating bagong bayan.
Madalas nangangasim ang tiyan? Maaring acid yan. Pag may acid, Suprasid. Tandaan ang United Home Suprasid.
Unilab yan.
Sodium bicarbonate is the generic name of United Home Suprasid. If symptoms persist, consult your doctor.
Welcome back to koolNews at Sticks. Let's continue with our headlines as Tolentino's bill seeks 20% student discount for digital communication and internet services. To empower students and foster a more equitable educational environment, Senator Francis Tolentino has filed a bill that seeks to grant a 20% student discount on the purchase of mobile phone load plans and internet services. The measure, Tolentino said, will help ease the burden of students related to the cost of digital communication and online resources, which have become vital components in the delivery of education in recent years. Called the Student Load Discount Act, Senate Bill number 2972 mandates a 20% discount on mobile load, text, call, and internet services for eligible students. The proposal covers students in the primary, secondary, technical, vocational, and tertiary levels. Postgraduate students are not eligible to benefit from the discount. Tolentino said in his bill's explanatory note, this initiative is intended to promote educational equality, enhance digital literacy, and foster collaboration between the government and telecommunications companies to meet students' needs. To avail of the privilege, students will need to present a valid school ID or proof of enrollment. The discount will be available year-round and is strictly for personal educational use. In addition, Senate Bill 2972 allows telecommunications firms to claim tax deductions in line with the discounts they will provide under the proposal. This creates an incentive for these companies to actively support students' educational needs, Tolentino pointed out. The collaboration between the government, educational institutions, and telecommunications firms is crucial for the success of this initiative, ultimately paving the way for a brighter future for the country's youth, this senator concluded. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court has asked the executive and legislative branches of government to comment on the petition challenging the constitutionality of Republic Act 12116 or the General Appropriations Act of 2025. Respondents were given 10 non-extendable days to submit their comment from receipt of notice. Named respondents are the House of Representatives represented by Speaker Ferdinand Martin Romualdez, Senate of the Philippines represented by Senate President Francis Escudero, and Executive Secretary Lucas P. Presamin. The Supreme Court's Public Information Office said in a statement released after the court's MBAC full court session, the Supreme Court directed respondents' House of Representatives, Senate, and Executive Secretary Lucas Presamin to comment on the petition within a non-extendable period of 10 days from receipt of notice. Petitioners include former Executive Secretary Victor D. Rodriguez, Davao Representative Isidro D. Angap, Rogelio A. Mendoza, Benito Oching Jr., Redemberto R. Villanueva, Roseller S. De La Peña, Santos V. Cadubay, and Dominic C. M. Solis. They raised several violations of the Constitution with the approval of the 2025 budget, including the supposed blank items in the bicameral conference committee report of the spending plan. The petitioners said the bicameral committee report showed several blanks, particularly the budget allocations for the National Irrigation Administration, the Department of Agriculture, and the Philippine Coconut Authority. The bicameral conference committee committed grave abuse of discretion amounting to lack or excess jurisdiction when they signed the committee report on 2025 national budget filled with blanks, they said. Meanwhile, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. on Tuesday met with Metropolitan Manila Development Authority or MMDA Chairman Romando Artes and other cabinet officials to discuss updates on the agency's comprehensive traffic management plan for Metro Manila and nearby provinces. The meeting took place at the Malacanan Palace, according to the Presidential Communications Office. The CTMP creates an inclusive, people-oriented, sustainable mobility system by enhancing transportation infrastructure and implementing an effective traffic management strategy. Aside from Artes, Executive Secretary Lucas Presamin, Interior and Local Government Secretary Dombic Remula, Public Works and Highways Secretary Manuel Bononan, and Transportation Secretary Jimmy Bautista were also present at the meeting. And the Bureau of Internal Revenue collected almost 3 trillion pesos in taxes in 2024, the most in 2 decades, President Ferdinand Bongbong R. Marcos Jr. announced on Tuesday. In his speech during the 2025 Beer National Tax Campaign kickoff in Pasay City, Marcos said the Bureau collected 2.85 trillion pesos in 2024, surpassing its 2.52 trillion pesos record in 2023. The record collection, Marcos said, could fund 1,140,800 new schools. 1,140,800 new schools, 190,133 kilometers of roads, and 167,014 rural health facilities. Today, we once again call on our fellow citizens and remind them to pay the correct taxes, he said. Every citizen who pays taxes correctly becomes a part of our nation's progress, he added. Meanwhile, the president renewed the government's vow to go after tax evaders. We will hold those who continue to circumvent our system accountable, he said. And I say this with hope and with sternness, hope that we all see the value in contributing to our country and that the law will deal sternly against those who exploit the system unfairly, Marcos added. Yeah. All right, let's get into the international headlines. After the loss of more than 10,000 homes in last month's Los Angeles fires, the region faces a daunting challenge to rebuild with a tight labor market, constrained construction supplies, and strict regulations. It's going to be a very difficult rebuild process, and it's going to take a long time, said Jim Tobin, CEO of the National Association of Home Builders. Fire is very unique. We're talking about total loss. Even when there is still a foundation or a chimney, fireworks are fog with those materials and they all have to be knocked down, said Tobin, describing what is often a more complete annihilation compared with a flood or hurricane. Before new work can begin, the all properties must be clear of debris because of the risk of toxic waste, said Mario, professor of architecture at the University of California at Berkeley and a specialist in disaster recovery. In Paradise, California, where 80,000 structures were obliterated in fires in 2018, including 11,000 homes. This initial step of clearing out the old property took 9 months, according to Colette Cortez, who directed the rebuilding for the city. Only 10% of Paradise homes and some 500 buildings overall survived the conflagration. The initial rebuilding permits were granted in 2019. There are about 400 buildings currently under construction in the city. We expect our recovery will be another 10 years probably before we are completely rebuilt, Curtis said. Things could move faster in wealthy areas such as Malibu and Pacific Palisades, devastated in last month's fires. If the homeowners don't need to wait for funds from insurer or if they receive federal aid. And finally, UFO fans are increasingly active in Japan, where lawmakers have called for official investigations and UFO events have attracted many visitors. The trend, which followed U.S. developments including the establishment of a special organization to analyze eyewitness information and other data, may reflect a sense of social anxiety, an expert says. Some Japanese municipalities trying to take advantage of the mysteries of UFOs for regional revitalization are hoping for a return of the UFO boom. The U.S. government refers to UFOs as unidentified anomalous phenomena or UAPs. In an interview on a popular podcast during the U.S. presidential election campaign last year, Donald Trump, who took office last month, emphasized the need to disclose information about UAPs. In Japan, preliminary members launched a nonpartisan group to study UAPs from the perspective of national security in June last year. The founders include Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba. The so-called UFO parliamentary group is urging the government to establish a special agency to handle UAP affairs that will work with the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now 6:30 p.m. and that brings us to the end of koolNews at 6. We will return with more news headlines with koolNews Primetime at 10:30 p.m. later tonight. You can also send us your comments, suggestions, and feedback to our email at tvhthephilippines.news@gmail.com. Until then, I am Cairo. Coming up next on Cool FM is Ask Your Cafe. Good evening.